Don't we all love it when we are heard, when someone really listens? Let's face it, all of us do. But does expecting from others ever help? Nah, I wouldn't agree with that. So why not use the power of speaking by talking it right? Believe me, it can do wonders. In this video, I will talk about the common behaviors we indulge in very frequently, which reduces our power of speaking right. If our speaking comes out of fear, it does rob our power and it tends to get expressed in these behaviors. Julian Treasure named it as the seven deadly sins. Scary name, right? But it's just the name. It doesn't suggest banning them from life, but to rectify them. Here's the first of the deadly sins: gossip. By gossip, what I mean is speaking ill of somebody who is not present. So it's not gossip to say, "Isn't it lovely? They're getting married." Now it's gossip to say, "Did you see what he was wearing this morning?" That kind of gossip. It's very seductive. We all like to indulge in it. But you know it perfectly well that if you're listening to somebody who's in veteran gossip, the moment you walk away, who are they going to be gossiping about? That's you, isn't it? Then there's judging. I don't mean here judgment as in discernment. Obviously, it's important to discern, to unravel the good from the bad, the wheat from the chaff. What I mean here is condemning out of hand. Have you ever been around people who are condemnatory the whole time? Blaming people, condemning people, dismissing people? It can be very tiring to listen to somebody who's like that. Third, we have negativity. You may have been around people who are as negative as to call their whole life awful and is that negative all the time. It's very tiring, debilitating to be around that. I wonder how negative or positive you are in your speaking generally. What do you say more often? Yes or no? Which one makes you feel lighter? Yes or no? Then we have the national pastime, complaining. Now, again, I want to make this clear: if your food is cold in a restaurant, complain. You can do something about it. I'm talking here is complaining about things we can't do anything about. The weather, which we do in this country a great deal of time. The government, the lockdown. If you can do something about it, then do it. If you can't do it, complaining is just viral misery. Let's face it. And then we have this guy. We have all met this guy. We have all been this guy. Excuses. It wasn't my fault. As an alternative to that kind of nonsense, how about just say, "Sorry, this is what I'm putting in place to make sure it never happens again." Now let's move on. That's a clean way to move on when you have made a mistake. Excuses just get in the way. Now we have got exaggeration. Now this could be slight embroidery. We do tend to use hyperbole a great part in our speech. Veries and awesomes and fantastics. These words lose their value once you start using them for every general thing. An interesting exercise for this one, if you want to take it on, is to have a day of saying exactly what you mean. No hyperbole, no exaggeration, and certainly no embroidery. And finally, we have dogma, my way or the highway, table thumping, the confusion of opinions with facts. I have a suggestion on opinions, which is that they should be offered by requests or by invitations only. Would you like my opinion on that? No? Oh, it is a bit depressing, isn't it? Because we love to offer our opinion at every opportunity we get. We live in a place where opinions are confused with facts, and that's not a great place to be because there is a great deal of table thumping in that, and they are not the same things. Let's differentiate between them. So, these were the seven deadly sins by Julian Treasure, which, when qualified, adds to our power of speaking. That was all about the dark side of it, that first needs to be rectified so that we have the space to add the lighter side. Stay tuned to catch up on what else can we learn to make people listen to us. Thank you. This is Krishna Chandak from Your Growth Story.